Welcome to World of Concrete 360's Industry Influencer video series. I'm Bill Palmer. I'm the editor of World of Concrete 360. With us today is Dave Fuller, who is the brand new technical director of the International Concrete Repair Institute, which is the primary association for concrete repair specialists, contractors, and consultants in the United States and in North America and maybe in the world. Dave, you were telling me that you worked at Master Builders for a long time.
Yeah, for about 20 years. I was technical services lead there up until about 3 months ago when I joined ICI in the technical director position.
And it is Master Builders again, which is good for me. I am happy to hear.
Yeah, no, old brand name, and no, great company. Can't say enough about them. But I've been a member of ICI for pretty much most of my career, and I'm really excited to be part of it as a staff member now.
Great. So what do you see as the hottest sectors in the concrete repair business these days? What do you find?
Well, everyone's talking lately more about infrastructure, which is never going to go away. We need to do more in the infrastructure to prevent the issues that we see from time to time, whether there's bridges and some of our roadways. But it's also regionally. I'm based down in South Florida, and the condo market, and especially due to recent events, I mean, it's really never gone away, but is really just exploding. People are getting serious about really evaluating these structures, wanting to repair them in the right way so they're lasting longer, and these repairs that are failing at 5 years, we need to change that. And I saw a study recently about 50% of concrete repairs are failing in 5 years. That's just unacceptable.
It really is. It's something I've talked to a lot of people about in the past. Is this I mean, people just have to be totally exasperated to do an expensive repair and then have it fail in a few years.
Yeah, and nobody wins. The owner doesn't win. The specifier doesn't look good. The contractor gets called back, and I mean, unfortunately, sometimes these turn into legal battles, and it's just it's not sustainable. That model. We have to do better.
But we know how to do durable repairs, to make durable repairs, don't we?
We do. We have the experts, we have the specifiers, we have manufacturers making the right materials, we have great installers out there. Something gets lost in that mix sometimes when it gets down to the person actually doing those repairs on a job site. And that's one of the things we try to do with ICRI, with our trainings and different guidelines that we put out to help direct those people that are mostly influencing those projects that are going to have an impact, whether they last 5 years or 20 years. We need to get to those people and make sure they're doing it right.
So what's the main issue? What do you see as the most common cause of a failed repair?
And I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but unfortunately, we have manufacturers making great materials. We have specifiers specifying to do it the right way. Sometimes it gets lost in translation to that person that's physically up on that structure or down in that tunnel, wherever. The person that's actually the most influential on the outcome of that project is the installer, the person that's actually putting that material up on the wall or on the floor. And unfortunately, sometimes they're not trained the best way, or they're not aware of the proper way to go about it.
So training is the best solution.
I think we've done, training's my passion. I have a master's in adult education and training, and I don't think we've done enough training-wise in our industry. I actually think we've failed in training, and I think we're turning that around. I think there are a lot of organizations, manufacturers are coming up with good training programs. We have to do more of it, and we have to make sure the people sitting in those trainings are the people that are going to influence these projects.
There's a lot of new materials around. What do you see that's really making a difference?
Again, going back to the installer, I think we're seeing materials that are a little more, I don't want to say, foolproof. On the site, easy to mix. You know, a lot of these materials, there's not a lot of measuring involved like there used to be. You just throw a packet in with a repair mortar and mix it up. So I think the manufacturers are really going in the right direction, making materials that not only last, but that are easier to install, that less room for error. And I think that's going to help us a lot.
Okay. You see the ICI's mission be including maintenance of concrete structures, maintaining them?
Absolutely. That's always been our mission, is to help make sure these repairs are done correctly, whether it's the guidelines that we put out to help guide the installer, guide the specifier to make sure that we're doing things in the right order and in the right way, plus some of our training programs that we're launching more all the time. So we have a couple going on this week here at World of Concrete that we have some certification programs going on. So I think the more we can do that, the more we're going to really make an impact in the industry.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Peter Emmons is always telling me his objective is to put himself out of business.
Exactly, and that's a great. And I've heard Peter say that. It's it really makes sense, and I think we can extend the life of these repairs. And unfortunately, coming from a manufacturer's background, I don't mind selling materials every 5 years, but we shouldn't be looking at it that way. We need to make long-lasting repairs. We do it once, and we can sit back and know we did the job right.
Okay. So, do you think the infrastructure bill is going to have a big impact on the repair business?
I think it will. Again, it's a little early to determine how it's going to play out, but again, whether we need to, I mean, we have to start putting the money into the infrastructure. I've been saying for years, I'm surprised more structures that we don't make the news when something happens, and I don't want anything to happen, but unless we really address some of these root causes and stop putting Band-Aids on structures, and more issues are going to happen, like some of the recent events we've seen. So I'm really hoping that's going to make an impact, infuse some cash into our industry, and really take care of some of these issues in the right way. And that's really, we oftentimes address kind of the symptoms, if we look at medical terms, instead of getting to the root cause of that, the disease, so to speak. And I think it takes a lot of money to get to that root cause sometimes, but we need to spend it, and we need to do things the right way if we're going to make these structures last longer.
Okay. Thank you very much for being with us today.
I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks a lot.